Breaking news. Two of the four accused have taken a plea deal.
Marco van Jungenbos, friend of Chris Lysak.
I understand you were in the courtroom, where a plea deal occurred. Can you please give us some details?
Yeah, so essentially what happened this morning was to some degree a mini trial where two of the four accused before the courts took a plea deal on one of their respective charges, which changes everything, obviously, and creates a lot of uncertainty for the remaining two, Chris Carbert and Tony Olenek.
And do we know what charges have been dropped? What are the details with the deal?
So I don't have all the charges in front of me, but the charges that they pleaded to was a weapons trafficking charge in relation to Jerry Morin, and there will be obviously additional detail that'll come out from both the courts or the judiciary in relation to their respective procedures. And Chris Lysak pled guilty to a restricted weapons charge.
Did the conspiracy to commit murder charge dropped?
Correct.
Okay, that's very interesting news. Do you have any details?
That charge was dropped. They pled not guilty to that. That not guilty plea was accepted, and the guilty pleas were accepted. The sentencing recommended by both defense counsels and the Crown prosecutor was in relation to time served, so quid pro quo. Chris Lysak did, and I'm doing some math here, and I don't remember, but essentially 719 or 723 days today times 1.5 for remand. That's how they calculate this. So being in custody for pre-trial. Jerry Morin, which shocked me, and I feel this is a travesty of justice, among other reasons, just this issue alone. Spent 74 days in solitary confinement during his total incarceration, which they put a multiplier of 3 times on. So essentially, both plea deals and both sentences were for time served to be released later today. So these men will be released to go back to their families later this afternoon, at the latest, I hope. So for these men, and I know there's 4, and I feel for the other 2, and there must be a lot of questions. There's going to be a lot of questions, and I'm pretty sure I'll be talking to Chris Carbert later this afternoon. But for these 2 men that have been released, it's a good day. It doesn't answer. It doesn't address the questions the public may have, but I hope that these proceedings and the public attention that they have been given and that they still are under turn into an investigation. There is a miscarriage of justice here. To hold Canadians pre-trial for this length of time on a charge such as a restricted firearm or a weapons trafficking, that's unheard of. And I feel there has been public pressure put on public, and possibly even pressure from superiors and authorities on the Crown and Stephen Johnson in this particular case, and that this was a tactic on their part to essentially justify their behavior. And because at this point we now have guilty pleas, and a lot of people will say, see, I told you so. 723 days pre-trial is a travesty of justice in Canada, and it has to be treated as such, and there has to be a full inquiry into these prosecutions. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time.